Hello all, welcome back to Made Legally. This is the first video and the first topic covering under your CPC series, subject matter series. This is the first topic whereby we'll be covering with the topic essentials of a civil suit. Now, why is this topic has been chosen by me? Why is this very important? So, it is very important when we talk about the prelim examination or if we talk about your mains examination perspective. Why? Because many a times you see a very general question coming into your mind or into your question paper, that is, what is a suit? Okay? Very general question. If you will go ahead and see the previous year questions of the various states, you will see the question, what is a suit? Now, when we talk about Code of Civil Procedure, we need to address this question and we need to understand. Why am I saying this? I'll tell you in a later stage. But this is the very important question. So the first part of a question is what is a suit, and the next part coming overhead is your essentials of a civil suit. What are the essentials of a civil suit? So if you are countering and you know what are the essentials of a civil suit being a very general question, that is good enough. But if you don't know the first part, that is what is the meaning of suit, then your answer is incomplete. And if you want to gain good marks in your mains examination or even in your prelim examination, there are times when we see that there are different words given and their definitions are given. You need to match those. Hai na? So if we go ahead with this theory or even in your mains preparation, this word civil suit or your suit is very important. And that is why while we are going ahead with our CPC subject matter series, the whole subject series, the first important topic we'll be covering is the essentials of a civil suit. Now, going ahead with the meaning of a suit, this word has not been defined. Under your CPC, never get confused, though it talks about the suit as a main perspective, but still this word suit has not been defined. And that is why it gives the leverage to all the students, to all the people to write their own meaning. You cannot define it, but you can give your own meaning to this word suit. Now, while talking about giving any meaning to a word, the meaning should include all the essentials of that term itself. So, whenever any layman person or any person reading your mere meaning of a word, he should get an idea that as a whole what this word means. So as a layman language, I wrote the meaning of suit, which means a civil proceeding initiated by a filing of a plaint by a party in a civil court to deal with the substantive rights of the parties as against another. Over here we have dealt with the meaning of suit. Or simply by reading this statement, you'll get an idea what does the word suit means. It is nothing but a civil proceeding initiated by the filing of a plaint. By whom? By a party. In what? Where? In a civil court. What it deals with? It deals with the substantive rights of the parties as against whom? Against the another. Over here we have not written another individual. Why? It can be against the state as well, right? The civil suits can be against the state claiming their own rights, and that is why the word over here is another. You can write another party as well, but writing just another will give a complete meaning to the word suit. Now going ahead, though CPC does not define, but the Limitation Act defines the word suit as per section 2 clause 1. Suit does not include appeal or an application. Okay, the suit does not include appeals or an application. Why? Because the structure of an appeal or an application is very different from the suit. Okay, suit is mere filing a plaint. Okay, initiation of a proceedings. But in appeal, that plaint, which the decision of a lower court is being appealed or reviewed by the higher court. That is appeal. And the application is asking for any other orders, any interlocutory orders. That is why it is not suit. So 2 clause 1 defines the word suit, but it is not defined under your CPC. If the question comes whether suit is being defined in your CPC, So the answer is no. Whether it is defined anywhere, the answer is yes. It is under Limitation Act. Okay? Further, the Supreme Court in the landmark judgment of 2011 in Ethiopian Airlines versus Ganesh Sabu has made an observation and has tried to define the word suit. Held, the suit includes all proceedings of a judicial or quasi-judicial nature in which dispute of our aggrieved parties were adjudicated before an impartial forum. So this was the Ethiopian Airlines versus Ganesh Sabu, जहाँ पर सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहीं ना कहीं सूट को लेके कुछ ना कुछ हेल्ड किया है. तो दिस बिकम्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट जजमेंट. While going ahead, what is a suit? While going ahead and answering the term what is a suit, while giving your own meaning, you can write this case which gives you a brownie points. Understood? So 2011 का ये केस है. You need not learn the whole citation, but you do remember the year that it is of 2011. Moving ahead with the essentials of a civil suit. Firstly, what is required is there must be a party. There must be a plaintiff who wants some right against the another, and the best form of filing that or claiming those rights is by filing a civil suit. So there must be parties. The parties over here are plaintiff and defendant. Order 1, Rule 1 and 3 talks about who all can be added to, who all can be joined as a plaintiff and as defendants. In a layman language, you must go ahead and explain plaintiff and defendant in your own words. Okay? As I have told you, plaintiff is a person who wants to claim some right as against the defendant, and the valid ground on which he can claim is going ahead before the court, and the method of pleading his right is by filing a civil suit. Understood? Now, second most important essential is a pleader. It is given under order 3. Who is a pleader? He is a person who defends the rights of either of the plaintiff or of the defendant. Third most important is subject matter. What is a subject matter? Subject matter is the collection or collective rights upon any property or upon anything or against anything. So what is a subject matter? Subject matter is not a property. Never get confused that subject matter is a property upon which it is claimed. No. Even if I want to claim a laptop, I'll claim the right over my laptop. That is, I, being the owner of the laptop, wants the laptop from the other person. This is a civil suit. The subject matter is the right upon the property or a thing. It is the collective right upon the property or a thing. Now, fourth essential is a cause of action. Very important. Cause of action is factual circumstances which led to the matter in issue between the parties. Cause of action is nothing but some circumstance which led the party claiming his right to claim some right against the other. There is some action by the defendant against the plaintiff with which the plaintiff is getting aggrieved of. For example, the defendant is not agreeing to give back my laptop which I have lended him for some purpose. Over here, I, being the owner, has a right upon my laptop, and that is why I'll file the civil suit for recovery of my movable property as per SRA. As per SRA, मैं claim कर सकते हैं as per section 7 or 8. Right? Remember those sections. इसको कहते हैं linking. We are studying essentials of a civil suit, but through an example, we link other laws as well. अब मैंने cause of action पे ना काफ़ी दफ़ा आपके questions आ जाते हैं. What is the cause of action? तो उसी के लिए मैंने एक केस लॉ लिया है जो कि लैंडमार्क केस है 1996 का, साउथ ईस्ट एशिया शिपिंग कंपनी लिमिटेड वर्सेस नव भारत एंटरप्राइजेस प्राइवेट लिमिटेड. It was stated by Supreme Court in this case that cause of action is a bundle of facts which, taken with the law applicable to them, gives the plaintiff a right to claim relief against the defendant. What it gives? It gives the right to a plaintiff to claim relief against the defendant. It must include some act done by the defendant, since in the absence of such an act, no cause of action would possibly accrue or would arise. Very well said. Very well said by the Supreme Court in your Nav Bharat Enterprises cases of 1996 that there must be some act of the defendant by which the plaintiff is getting aggrieved of. And if there is no action or no act done by the defendant, then there will be no possible cause of action taken by the plaintiff. There will be no cause of action. अगर डिफेंडेंट ने कुछ किया ही नहीं अगेंस्ट द प्लेंटिफ, तो प्लेंटिफ क्या राइट क्लेम करेगा, राइट? अगर प्लेंटिफ ने कहा डिफेंडेंट मुझे 2 दिन के अंदर लैपटॉप दे देना, डिफेंडेंट इज अग्रीइंग कि हाँ भाई मैं 2 दिन के बाद लैपटॉप दे दूंगा, तो क्या उसके कहने के बावजूद भी बाय मेकिंग अ mere प्रॉमिस, मे बी ओरली और रिटन जैसे भी फॉर्म में, क्या प्लेंटिफ के पास राइट है टू क्लेम द laptop or your recovery of the movable property in the court? No, he cannot file the suit. Why? Because defendant is agreeing to give it back. Whereby the defendant is not agreeing to give it back, though he was duty bound to give it. Then in that situation, the right to claim that relief comes against against the defendant comes in the court of law, and then there can be a valid suit filed by the plaintiff and not otherwise. So these are the 4 essentials. The last essential being the relief claims. Any relief can be claimed, be it the recovery of movable property, be it the recovery of immovable property, be it the recovery of money, anything can be claimed back. Even compensation can be claimed. The damages can be claimed. Understood? So these are the 5 most important essentials. Even if you miss one, you are missing on the very important point. That is why remember these 5. और ऐसे ही 5 points लिखने हैं. ये नहीं पहले relief claim लिख दिया, फिर pleader लिखा, फिर parties लिखा, फिर cause of action. नहीं. Go ahead with this line only. Parties, pleader, subject matter, cause of action and relief claimed. Understood? इससे ज़्यादा इसमें कुछ नहीं लिखना है. With this, I'll end the session for today. I hope essentials of a civil suit, the meaning of suit is clear in your head, and you'll get a better idea. Write this in your mains answer writing, because this is very important not only for your prelims examination but also for your mains examination. With this, I'll end the session for today.